Welcome to Shooting It Straight with Stan. I'm your host, Stan, the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states. Today's topic is a great one, coming from the deep south of where I grew up in Charlotte, North Kakalaki, North Carolina. Actually, the town, seriously, and I'm not kidding, look it up. It's called Stanley, North Carolina, just like it sounds, Stanley. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was named after me. It should be, but it wasn't. But that's where I grew up, Stanley, North Carolina, Gaston County. But this topic is a good one. It's belt and suspenders annuity strategies. And you're going, wait a minute, Stan, what? Belt and suspenders? Well, for all of you out there that remember suspenders, when I was on Wall Street and looking really dapper, going to work in New York at Morgan Stanley, I had the suspenders. I was looking pretty suave. Okay, but I don't do that anymore. But we all have that uncle that shows up to the family reunion wearing a belt and suspenders. If you go to, I want to mention some of the large big box retailers out there. Some of those places are my favorite restaurant in the world, Waffle House. If you don't know where that is, you haven't driven on I-95 yet. And it is truly my favorite restaurant on the planet. I mean, to work at Waffle House and be a chef, you need to be a Mensa level mental person, because if you've ever heard the orders being yelled at by the waitresses and waiters to the cooks, there's not a person watching this that can do that unless you've been a Waffle House cook. And there's not one of you, because they're like, it's like a code, and they'll give 7 straight orders and they all get them right and it comes out perfectly. But belt and suspenders strategy is my Uncle Chester showing up to the Garrison family reunion. That's my mother's side of the family. Also underneath Abernathy's. We were Abernathy's and Garrisons, right? So the Abernathy Garrison reunion, Uncle Chester shows up with belt and suspenders, I guess just because he wants to make sure that the pants don't fall down. And thank God for that. Goodness. For that. Because we don't want to see that. You know, nobody wants to see that. Okay. But belt and suspenders, I always looked at as a kid and go, well, that's kind of repetitive. And, you know, why is he do it? Why would he just wear suspenders? Or why would he wear belt? And on Wall Street, if someone showed up with the belt and suspenders, they would have been roasted. I mean, they'd have been made fun of, paraded around, put on the trading floor desk and yelled at and whatever. It's like the day, this is a true story. First day, Wall Street, I came from no money. So I didn't know. I was a basketball player in college, and boy, could I shoot the rock. But the point is, first day, okay, I show up in a short sleeve dress shirt, which is a misnomer. It doesn't make sense. They literally roasted me and walked me down to the I guess it was Brooks Brothers downstairs, which I didn't have the money to buy. And my manager just put it on his card, just said, please buy him clothing because that's ridiculous. But I didn't know. My parents bought me short sleeve dress shirts. So the belt and suspenders annuity strategy hits home. Why? And I'm going to tell you what, there's a couple of ways that I look at belt and suspenders annuity strategies. Let me tell you the first one. The first one is when people look at the state guarantee fund. And if you want to go look at the state guarantee fund, it's www.nolhga.com, nolhga.com. And you can see for fixed annuities, each state has a specific rule in place to protect you and protect your money in case something happens to the carrier, of which we're not going to recommend that carrier anyway, because, you know, we really do look at the financials of the carriers, et cetera, and take that very serious. But if you're saying, I don't care what you say, Stan, I want a belt and suspenders, then what we'll do is we'll look at the state guarantee fund, and let's just say you wanted to buy 3 annuities, we'd buy them underneath that state guarantee fund. That's what I call belt and suspenders strategies. So I had a call recently, and the person, you know, they always ask me, what do you think about state guarantee funds? And yeah, I'm like, you know, it's not FDIC, it's not SIPC. It falls underneath those from a safety standpoint, and you really should be buying the claims paying ability of the annuity carrier, the life insurance company that's issuing the annuities, from the standpoint of safety. And I honestly think that the true safety of the annuity industry is the industry itself policing itself. In other words, companies buying other companies and making sure the golden goose of confidence isn't gored and go away, because once it does, it's over. In other words, if my mom didn't get an annuity payment one month, She'd be on national news going, I'm going to tell you something about those annuity companies and then get my money. I mean, it'd be over. It'd be game over. And the annuity companies know that they do not want my mom on national television, on NBC Nightly News going, I didn't get my annuity payment. I mean, they don't want that. So, but regardless of me weighing in with my 30 plus years of experience on buy the carrier's strength and don't worry about the state guarantee fund, a lot of you out there going, I ain't listening to you. I'm going to do that belt and suspenders thing. And that's okay. But recent call, this person said, not only do they want A double plus carriers, the top of the line, top tier, they wanted A double plus carriers, and they wanted to buy the multiple annuities, different carriers, and under the state guarantee fund. That's the ultimate belt and suspenders annuity strategy, which is you're getting the coverage of the state guarantee fund, which, by the way, has kind of really never been truly tested in a chaotic world. That's a good thing. Kudos for the annuity industry. I always tell people, life insurance companies that issue annuities aren't smarter than banks. They're just more regulated than banks. In other words, they're not allowed to do stupid things. They're handcuffed for financial stupidity, which is good because you and I both know, regardless of the good intentions of anyone in charge, when it's not really their money, they start making stupid decisions unless they're regulated into being smart, of which they then take full credit. So that's the first way to do belt and suspenders, which is buy a good carrier and then buy that the dollar amount underneath the state guarantee fund or within the state guarantee fund rules. Again, NOLHGA.com if you want to look up your state, etc. No, I do not have every single state memorized, even though I'm licensed in all 50 states. But I don't do that because I just don't. Come on, that's crazy. But the other way to do belt and suspenders annuity strategies, there's a lot of people out there go, I've never bought an annuity, Stan, because an annuity, and they think there's only one type and there's like 10. An annuity, if I die, the annuity company keeps the money. I don't want that. That's not fair. That's the reason I hate all annuities. I'm like, you hate Social Security? Well, no. Well, that's an annuity. You hate your pension? Well, no. Well, that's an annuity. But what for belt and suspender strategies for lifetime income, and there's 4 different types of annuities that provide lifetime income, and then there's annuities for principal protection or legacy or long-term care, which means there's a lot of annuity types. But for the people out there that believe that the evil annuity company they're gonna keep the money, the belt and suspenders annuity strategy would be life with cash refund or joint life with cash refund, life with installment refund or joint life with installment refund, or life with a long-term period certain, or joint life with long-term period certain, long-term meaning 20, 30 years. What does that do? It covers your life as long as you're breathing, joint life as long as one of you's breathing. So it's going to pay, I call it ventilator annuities, as long as you're on a ventilator and you're breathing. But when your Learjet hits the mountain, when your big truck hits the tree, when your skateboard flips and you hit your head, don't skate, okay? When that happens, you can structure lifetime income so that 100% of any unused money goes 100% to the listed beneficiaries of the policy and not a penny to the evil life insurance company that issued the annuity. So the annuity company gonna keep the money. That's garbage in French, okay? Now, can you structure some annuities life only, meaning that you hate your beneficiaries and you want the highest payment, and when your Learjet hits the mountain, money goes poof and you don't care? Sure, that's misanthropic annuity strategies. I should do one on that for all you misanthropes out there. But belt and suspenders means that you got triple-de dippity doopity coverage. You got super-de duper. That's Barney. Remember my kids were growing up, they're watching Barney, that purple elephant thing for kids. Remember that? That always seemed weird to me, man. Like I would watch that and listen to him like, there's some goober inside there. That just rung true. But he'd say, that's super-de duper. But that's a super-de duper belt and suspenders annuity strategy, because if you really want to get fancy, you do a really good carrier, then you do it under the state guarantee fund, and then you do cash refund, installment refund, or a long-term period certain attached to the lifetime income component. I guess that's a belt and suspenders with duct tape around the middle. I mean, that's triple-de duper. I'd love to see that. I would love to see my Uncle Chester had walked into the Garrison Abernathy. Abernathy. I love that name. Family reunion where seriously some of the best food on the planet. Can we get a annuity amen on old school family reunion food? Man, it was worth being cornered by Chester talking politics to eat that stuff that was being made there by my grandmother, my aunts. My gosh, I mean, that kind of food, unbelievable. But I would have loved if he'd walked in, belt and suspenders, and then duct tape around the belt. Then I would have said, Chester, I'm serious. I love what you're doing. I love the look. In fact, I might have just started a trend right there. I guess what I'm trying to get across to you is you can protect yourself and your hard-earned money a myriad of ways. You can protect it by buying very good companies. You can protect it by buying underneath the state guarantee fund within your state, again, NOLHGA.com. And then you can protect it one more time with lifetime income by structuring the policy so that 100% of any unused money goes to your family or whoever you listed as beneficiaries. I'm assuming it's family, could be anybody, but whoever you list as the beneficiaries of the policy is going to get whatever is left over of that amount in the annuity account. If you live forever and you live to 155, there's going to be nothing in the account and there's going to be no death benefit, but it doesn't matter because you're 155 years old. Hello. But you can structure it so that the evil annuity company doesn't keep a penny. You can structure it so that if something happens to the company, that the state and the state guarantee fund is on the hook to pay. That's belt and suspenders annuity strategies. And I hope that I've evoked some memories of those really cool family reunions with that really good food that, you know, like your Aunt Martha made. You know, your Aunt Martha made the peach cobbler and you wanted to fight over it. You like stuck some in your coat as you're leaving. Like, yeah, I'm taking the peach cobbler. Here's on a serious note. My last meal will involve peach cobbler, really good peach cobbler. And you know what I'm talking about. Not the crumbles. No, the bread, the hard bread stuff. I mean, that is unbelievable. I'll leave you with this story. It's a peach cobbler story. Went on some family trip when the kids were young, and we're up in the mountains of North Carolina, and they sent me out to say, hey, Stan, can you go get some dessert or something? And I'm driving through the mountains and I stumble across this barbecue restaurant, and they were selling full pans of cobbler. So you're saying, I know you, Stan, you do nothing in moderation. How many did you buy? I bought 2 full pans. I bought a blueberry cobbler and a peach cobbler. A full team of football players couldn't have eaten it all, but we sure as heck tried. But that's how much I love peach cobbler. So, you know, got those recipes or see me out there, you know, in the hinterlands, buy me some peach cobbler. But also want you to remember belt and suspenders annuity strategies. Kind of, you can have your cobbler and eat it too. Forget cake. You can have your cobbler and eat it too with belt and suspenders annuity strategies. My name is Stan, the Annuity Man. Wasn't that a fun ride? I'm America's annuity agent, if you don't know, and yes, I am licensed in all 50 states. Shooting it straight with Stan. See you next week.